Imagine holding a coin in your hand that could be worth thousands, or even tens of thousands, of dollars. It sounds like a dream, but some coins hidden in plain sight can turn out to be ultra-rare treasures worth a small fortune. Today, we're diving into the top 4 most expensive and ultra-rare coins that every collector dreams about. These aren't just any coins you find in your pocket, they have special stories and unique mistakes that make them priceless. Most regular 1968 quarters are made from copper-nickel. The ones from Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, proof coins, are common and worth around 30 to 85 cents in used condition. But pristine, mint-state coins graded MS-67 or MS-68 can go for hundreds or even thousands. A 1968 D in MS-68 sold for $8,813, and a Philadelphia MS-68 sold for $9,400. The rare proof 1968 S graded PF69 Deep Cameo fetched $2,875. Now imagine if something even wilder happened during production, an error that makes your quarter one in a million. These rare mistakes can make collect-level value explode. Let's run through the most sought-after kinds. One of the most mind-blowing errors is a 1968 S-proof quarter struck on a 90% silver planchet, using metal meant for pre-1965 quarters. Only one is known, and experts even tested it for its silver content. That alone makes it a marvel, and likely worth thousands, maybe close to heaven on earth for a coin collector. Then there's the filled-in D mint mark. You might see the D look more like a blob. Not earth-shattering, but still interesting, some sold for around $100. A double die error where the date or, "In God We Trust," appears doubled can fetch between $50 and $190, more if it's unusual and crisp. Off-center strikes are classic, the image is crooked, maybe missing 15% to 30% of the design. That can be worth $50 to $100. But if it's badly off, like half the coin is blank but the date's still visible, it could go for $200 or more. If a quarter was struck without the collar, you'd get a broad strike, smooth edges, wider and thinner coin. Most brooks are $20 to $50, depending on condition. On rare occasions you'll hear of missing clad layer errors. That's when the outer metal is missing, exposing the copper core. Not often from 1968, but when it happens it's super cool, and collectors pay for that kind of surprise. Still a few steps beyond that is the wrong planchet error, like a quarter design stamped onto the wrong metal or composition left over from another coin. Those can fetch huge sums, especially if authenticated and graded. So that brings us to that astonishing idea: could a 1968 quarter ever sell for $30,000, $70,000, or even $900,000? Official records don't show that for this year. But think about that silver-proof piece, unique, verified silver content, and a true anomaly. In the ultra-exclusive collector world, a one-of-a-kind with a strong backstory and superb condition could break 6 figures. If such a piece eventually surfaced at auction, it might approach $30,000 or more. Other coins, like certain rare dimes or pennies, have reached $40,000 to $800,000 due to unique mistakes. So the possibility, while speculative, isn't impossible given coin value trends, and especially if you tell the story just right. In a video or talk, you can treat this quarter like a mystery waiting to be uncovered. Start small, explain normal values, then drop that shocking idea: "I once found a quarter worth thousands." But what if it's the one that's worth tens or hundreds of thousands? Wouldn't that be wild? Then walk viewers through each error, using plain language and these few value checkpoints we've covered, like $100 for a filled D mark, $200 for a half-off off-center, $1,000 plus 4 mint state gems, and thousands for silver or proof errors. Keep it simple, build the thrill, let people picture finding one in change, and maybe end with that jaw-dropping $900,000 whisper, a reminder that rare mistakes can rewrite value. In 1976, the U.S. celebrated 200 years of independence, and to mark this, the Mint made special coins called bicentennial coins. The quarter from this year is easy to spot because it has 2 dates on it, 1776 and 1976. On the back, instead of the usual eagle, it shows a picture of a soldier playing a drum. These coins were made in huge numbers, more than 1.6 billion quarters. Most people had them in their pockets, and many still do. But not all these coins are worth just 25 cents. Some of them are super rare and can be worth thousands, even over $100,000. These are special error coins, which means something went wrong when they were made at the mint. One of the most valuable bicentennial quarter errors is one that was struck on a silver planchet. A planchet is the blank metal disc that becomes the coin. In 1976, regular quarters were not made of silver anymore, but some silver planchets were still around because they were used for special coin sets. A few of these may have been used by mistake to make regular coins. If you find one of these quarters made of 40% silver and it's not from a special set, you might have something big. One of these silver quarters, in perfect condition, once sold for almost $190,000 at an auction. That's just one coin, worth more than many cars or even a house. Another rare type is the double die quarter. This happens when the image on the coin is stamped twice by mistake, but not in the exact same place. You might see letters that look thicker, or doubled words like liberty or in God we trust. These coins are hard to find, but collectors love them. Some of these have sold for over $8,000 if they are in really good shape. Even lower grade ones are worth much more than face value. There are also quarters that were made on the wrong kind of metal. For example, some were struck on blanks meant for dimes or even coins from other countries. These coins are lighter or smaller than a normal quarter. They might look odd, and the design may be off-center or missing parts. One bicentennial quarter that was made on the wrong metal sold for over $25,000. That's the kind of coin you don't want to spend by mistake. Some coins have a missing part, like a clipped edge. This happens when the blank wasn't cut right. The quarter may look like someone took a bite out of it. If the date is still there and the clip is big, the value goes up. Some of these odd-looking coins have sold for more than $20,000. There are also quarters with off-center strikes. These look strange because the coin was not lined up right when it was stamped. Part of the design is missing, and part of the coin may be blank. The more off-center the coin is, and if the date is still visible, the more it can be worth. Some of these have sold for $300, $500, even over $1,000 depending on how rare and nice-looking they are. Another cool error is called a brockage. This happens when one coin sticks to the die and then leaves a mirror image on the next coin. This kind of mistake is rare and looks wild. One side is normal, and the other is backwards or mushy. These can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. One perfect brockage quarter from 1976 sold for $40,000. Imagine finding that in a coin jar at home. Then there's the missing clad layer error. Quarters are made with layers of different metals. Sometimes, one layer is missing, so the coin looks coppery or red-brown. If you see a bicentennial quarter that looks way more copper than normal, it might be one of these. These have sold for $2,000 to over $10,000 depending on condition. Even more strange are double strikes, where the coin was hit twice but not in the same spot. Or coins struck by the wrong dies. Some coins even have misplaced mint marks, like the D or S in the wrong place. These kinds of things aren't supposed to happen, but when they do, they create rare coins that collectors will pay a lot for. Some of these have sold for close to $9,000 or more. Now you might be wondering, how do people find these coins? Some are found in old collections. Some are sitting in jars, drawers, or rolls of quarters from the bank. It doesn't take much to check your change, just good eyes and a little time. A small magnifying glass helps. Look at the date, the design, and the edge. If anything looks strange or off, it might be worth checking out. You can compare your coin with online pictures of rare errors to see if it matches. And if you think you have something, you can send it to a coin grading service to find out for sure. Most bicentennial quarters are only worth face value, maybe $1 or $2 if they're shiny. But those rare ones, the ones with mistakes, they can be worth hundreds, thousands, or even six figures. That's why people are so excited about them. They're not just cool coins, they're little pieces. Have you ever looked at an old coin and wondered if it could be worth something big? Like, not just a few dollars, but hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. Well, today we're talking about a coin that could be hiding in plain sight. It looks like any other dollar coin, but it could be worth a small fortune. I'm talking about the 1979 Susan B Anthony dollar. And trust me, this is one coin you don't want to ignore. Stick around to the end because the value of some of these coins will shock you. Let's start with a quick story. In 1979, the US government made a new dollar coin. It was the first time a real woman was shown on a US coin. Her name was Susan B Anthony. She fought for women's rights and the right to vote. To honor her, they put her face on a coin. People thought it was a good idea, but when the coin came out, there was a big problem. It was too small. It looked way too much like a quarter. People were confused. They didn't like using it. So, the coin didn't last very long. It was made from 1979 to 1981 and then again in 1999. But even though the coin wasn't popular back then, now it's a favorite among collectors. Now let's talk about the coin itself. The S in the name stands for the San Francisco Mint. That's where this coin was made. There are 3 places in the US that make coins: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from San Francisco are special because they often make proof coins. These are shiny, high-quality coins made for collectors. They're not made for everyday use. And that's where the rare 1979 coins come in. In 1979, the San Francisco Mint made 2 types of proof Susan B Anthony dollars. The first type is called the Type 1. This one has a mint mark that looks filled in or fuzzy. The second type is called Type 2. This one has a mint mark that looks clear and sharp. The Type 2 coin is very rare. Only a small number were made compared to Type 1. Most people don't even know there are 2 types. That's why the Type 2 coin can be worth a lot of money. So how much can these coins be worth? Let's break it down. A normal 1979 Type 1 proof dollar, even in perfect condition, might be worth around $10 to $70. Not bad, but nothing crazy. Now let's talk about the Type 2. A 1979 Type 2 proof dollar in perfect condition has sold for over $1,900. That's right, almost $2,000 for one coin. But that's not even the highest price. Some rare coins in perfect proof condition have sold for more than $5,000 at auction. And that's just for the Type 2 proof. There are also other versions and errors that can be worth even more. Let's talk about errors, because they can turn a regular coin into something super valuable. In some cases, the 1979 dollar was struck on the wrong metal. Imagine finding a Susan B Anthony coin that was made on a dime or a penny blank. These errors are rare, and when they show up, collectors go crazy for them. One coin like this, struck on a dime blank, sold for over $10,000. Another one made on a penny blank sold for around $8,700. That's a huge amount of money for something you could hold in your hand. The reason why these error coins are so valuable is because they're one of a kind. There might only be 1 or 2 of them in the whole world, and it's not just errors. Even regular coins that are in really good shape can be worth money. If you find a 1979 Susan B Anthony dollar in mint condition, meaning no scratches, no wear, and shiny like new, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands. One version, graded MS-68, sold for over $5,500. That's a massive value jump from a coin that most people think is only worth $1. Now here's something else to look for. There's a special version of the 1979 Susan B Anthony dollar called the wide rim or near date. It's not the S version, but it's still from 1979 and it's still very valuable. The rim is thicker, and the date is closer to the edge. Only a few were made before they changed the design. That version, in top condition, can be worth over $6,000. So even if you don't have the S mint mark, you could still have a coin worth big money. So how can you tell if your coin is special? The best way is to look closely at the mint mark. The S will be above Susan B Anthony's shoulder, near the edge of the coin. If the S looks very clear and sharp, you might have a Type 2 proof coin. If the S looks fuzzy or filled in, it's probably a Type 1. You can also look at the date. If the date is really close to the rim, you might have the wide rim variety. Using a magnifying glass can help you spot the small details. If you're not sure what kind of coin you have, you can take it to a coin shop. A professional coin dealer can tell you what you've got. You can also send your coin to a grading service. They will check the condition of your coin and give it a grade. The highest grade is 70. Coins that grade 67, 68, 69, or 70 are worth the most money. Even a small difference in grade can change the value a lot. Let's say you find a 1979 S Susan B Anthony dollar in your collection or in some old change. What should you do? First, don't spend it. Keep it safe and check the mint mark. Use a coin website or price guide to compare. If it looks special, take it to a dealer or send it to be graded. You never know, it might be worth way more than $1. Many people don't know the value of the coins they have. They leave them in jars or boxes, never thinking twice. But coins like the 1979 S Susan B Anthony dollar can be true treasures. They have history, they're rare, and they can be super valuable. Collectors all over the world are looking for these coins. Some are willing to pay thousands to get the perfect one. And the best part? These coins are still out there. They're in old collections, in drawers, and sometimes even in circulation. Even though Susan B Anthony dollars weren't popular when they first came out, they're now seen as important and collectible. They show how coin designs can tell stories about history. They remind us of people who made a big impact, like Susan B Anthony herself. And for collectors, these coins are more than money, they're pieces of art and history combined. So next time you see one of these coins, take a closer look. Is there an S mint mark? Is the rim wide? Does it look new and shiny? If yes, you might be holding something special. It's fun, it's exciting, and it might be worth way more than you think. Remember, people have sold these coins for over $5,000, $7,000, even $10,000. Some might even sell for more in the future. That's why it's so important to check your coins. A little bit of time could lead to a big reward. And if you're someone who enjoys collecting, now is a great time to learn more. Coin collecting is not just for experts. Anyone can start. All you need is curiosity, some patience, and maybe a magnifying glass. Start by looking through your change. Ask family members if they have old coins. Visit coin shows or local coin shops. You never know what you'll find. Maybe even a rare 1979 S Susan B Anthony dollar hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, be sure to like and share. There could be someone out there who has this rare coin and doesn't even know it yet. And don't forget to check your change, you might be sitting on a small treasure that's worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Keep hunting, stay curious, and who knows? Your next coin might just be the one that changes everything. Imagine you're holding a golden $1 coin in your hand. You think it's just a normal dollar, right? But what if I told you that this simple-looking coin could actually be worth hundreds, thousands, or even over $200,000? Yes, you heard that right. One coin. $1. But it could change your life. So don't blink, because today, we're diving into one of the most surprising and exciting stories in the world of coins, the 2000p Sacagawea dollar. This is not just any dollar. This is a coin that has hidden treasure written all over it. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to learn might make you check every dollar coin you've ever seen. The Sacagawea dollar first came out in the year 2000. The U.S. Mint wanted to make a new dollar coin that looked beautiful and honored an important figure from American history. Sacagawea was a young Native American woman who helped guide the Lewis and Clark expedition in the early 1800s. Her face is on the front of the coin, and there's an eagle flying on the back. The coin has a smooth golden color, but it's not real gold, it's just made to look that way. Now, here's where things get exciting. In 2000, the Mint made over 760 million of these coins. That's a lot. Most of them are still worth just $1. But a few, just a few, are worth a fortune. Why? Because some of them have mistakes, special designs, or secret details that make them super rare. And coin collectors are willing to pay big money to get their hands on them. Let's start with one of the coolest stories, the Cheerios dollar. Back in 1999, before the coins were released to the public, General Mills, the cereal company, teamed up with the U.S. Mint for a special giveaway. Inside boxes of Cheerios, they placed brand new 2000 Sacagawea dollars. About 5,500 coins were sent out this way. At first, people just thought, cool, a free dollar. But years later, collectors noticed something strange. The eagle's tail feathers on these Cheerios coins had more detail than the regular ones. It turns out, these coins were part of an early design that was later changed. That small difference made the Cheerios dollars extremely rare. Today, if you have a Cheerios dollar in great condition, it could be worth thousands of dollars. Some have sold for $5,000, others even more, up to $25,000 in top condition. That's a pretty amazing return on a free coin from a cereal box. And guess what? Many people don't even know they have one. But wait, it gets crazier. There's another version of this coin called the mule error. A mule error happens when the Mint accidentally puts the front of one coin together with the back of a different coin. This doesn't happen often, and when it does, it's a big deal. In the case of the 2000 Sacagawea mule, someone at the Mint combined the front of a Washington quarter with the back of a Sacagawea dollar. The result? A coin that looks like a quarter on one side and a dollar on the other. Only a few of these coins have ever been found. And each one has sold for over $100,000. One sold for $192,000. Another private sale was reported for $250,000. Can you imagine? A $quarter front and a $1 back, and suddenly it's worth more than a luxury car. There are other rare types too. One is called the wounded eagle. It's called that because there's a small scratch on the coin that looks like the eagle has a cut or wound. It was caused by a die error at the Mint. Only a small number of these coins exist, and they can sell for over $1,000. In perfect condition, one sold for more than $5,000. And then there are the Glenna Goodacre coins. Glenna was the artist who designed the image of Sacagawea. The Mint paid her with 5,000 specially made coins that have a shinier and smoother finish than the regular ones. These are known as presentation coins. Some collectors will pay $400 to $1,000 for one. That's pretty good for a coin that's still technically just a dollar. There's also a group of coins that came in something called the Millennium Set. These were special coins made to celebrate the year 2000. Only 75,000 sets were made. The coins in this set have a different look, kind of like a satin or proof finish. If you find one, it could be worth $150 to $250 depending on the condition. And now, let's talk about errors. You might think a mistake on a coin would make it worthless. But in coin collecting, the opposite is often true. Some Sacagawea dollars were struck on the wrong type of coin blank, like one meant for a quarter or a Susan B Anthony dollar. That means the coin is the wrong weight or color or size. One of these error coins sold for over $16,000. Another sold for $7,800. And we're still talking about coins that started off as just $1. Even normal-looking Sacagawea dollars can be worth a lot, if they're in perfect condition. A coin graded MS69, which means almost perfect, sold for $117,500. That's right. No error. No special story. Just a regular dollar in perfect shape. That shows how much collectors value top-quality coins. Oh, and here's something really wild. Before the coin was even released, the mint made 39 Sacagawea dollars out of 22-karat gold. These coins were sent to space on a NASA mission to test how they would hold up in zero gravity. After the mission, 12 of them were sent to Fort Knox for safekeeping. These gold coins are not for sale, but if they ever were, they would be worth a fortune. They are truly priceless. So what does all this mean for you? It means that a dollar coin you find in your change, or in a drawer, or even at a garage sale, could be worth way more than just $1. It might be worth thousands, or even over $100,000. That's why it's so important to look closely at every coin. Flip it over. Check the details. Does the eagle's tail look extra sharp? Does the front of the coin look like a quarter? Is there a strange scratch across the eagle? Is the coin shinier than normal? These are all signs you might have something special. And here's the best part, these coins are still out there. People spent them years ago not knowing what they had. Some were handed to kids. Some were dropped in tip jars. Some were given as change at a store. So there's a real chance that someone, maybe even you, could still find one today. Coin collecting isn't just for experts. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to have a huge collection. All you need is curiosity, and a good eye. Start looking through your pocket change. Ask your family if they have any old dollar coins. Look through coin jars, drawers, or old boxes. And if you find a 2000p Sacagawea dollar, don't spend it right away. Take a close look. You might just be holding a piece of treasure. Before you go, let me remind you of this, not all rare coins look rare. Sometimes the most valuable coins look just like the regular ones. That's what makes them so exciting. They're like hidden gold in plain sight. The 2000p Sacagawea dollar is a perfect example. It started as just a new coin in a cereal box, or in someone's wallet, but today, it's a symbol of how something small can be worth something huge. You never know what you might have until you look. 1970